Hot Yoga Asheville, and this is Adi with Hot Yoga Asheville.
Hi.
And today we're going to do a restorative Yin practice. So Yin is all about slowing down, really taking it easy, feeling the sensations that you feel in your body. So you'll hold the poses anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. This is going to be about 15 minutes, so we'll do about a minute per pose. We're going to start in tabletop. Your knees can be underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. And we'll take a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale to drop your belly, lift your chest, your tailbone, your gaze. You'll exhale to round your spine, tuck your chin, your tailbone, belly button to spine. And inhale to arch, gaze up. And exhale to round, push the floor away. And we'll continue moving on your own breath. Inhale to arch, exhale to round. Just getting the body moving, getting energy flowing, your heart pumping. This is really waking up the body, getting you ready to hold these poses for 2 to 5 minutes. You can take some organic movement, bringing your ribs in big circles, gazing over left shoulder at left hip, coming around to gaze over right shoulder at right hip. You can bring your hips back towards your heels like a child's pose. Come out over your wrists like an upward dog. You can tuck your toes, lift your hips into a downward dog. Pedal out your feet left and right. Anything that feels good here to get your body warmed up. Remembering to breathe deeply, feeling the sensations that you notice in your body as you move or as you hold in stillness. And slowly come back to a tabletop whenever you feel ready, dropping your knees down underneath your hips. We'll come all the way down to our belly, making a little pillow with stacked hands to rest your forehead or your right or left cheek down. And as you breathe here, feel the back of your body expand up towards the ceiling, creating space. And as you exhale, feel your body melt down into the mat. And we'll come up to our elbows. Your elbows will be directly underneath your shoulders, hands, fingertips spread wide. You can walk your elbows a little bit away from your chest, bringing your chest down towards the mat. Really breathe into your chest, underneath your arms, your collarbones, your neck, your shoulders. Wherever you're feeling this stretch, breathe deeply there, using your inhales to create space where you feel tension or tightness, and using your exhales to release that tension. You can do a little bit of movement in the beginning. You can bring your chin to your left or right shoulder. You can gaze up and gaze down. You can swivel your hips a little side to side, whatever feels good. And then come to stillness. See just how still you can get your body and hold in this shape. While muscles really enjoy being pumped back and forth, that really helps to open them up. Joints and fascia really tend to like long-held poses. So this is working your muscles as well as joints, fascia, tendons. Whenever you feel ready, come back down slowly to your belly. Rest on your forehead or the side of your cheek. And perhaps notice any differences in your chest, your shoulders, your arms. And slowly start to press up to a tabletop, moving back towards a child's pose. Your knees can be wide. Your torso will fall between your thighs, or your knees can be together. Your torso will rest on your thighs. And as you breathe here, again, feel the back of your body expand up towards the ceiling. Feel the sides of your ribs getting long, expanding out to the left and the right. Feel your belly press against your thighs. And as you exhale, notice that your hips sink down towards your heels. Your forehead rests heavy on the mat. You can rock your head side to side, massage the skin above your eyebrows. to find some movement. You can walk your hands over to the right, stretching out the left side of your body. You can walk your hands back to center, stretch long down the middle, and then walk over to the left. You may find that you want to hold on one side or the other. Maybe there's a sticky part on your left or right side that you want to breathe into. And try to keep it as even as you can. If you spend 5 breaths or so on the right side, come to the left side and spend 5 breaths there. And wherever you are, slowly come back to the middle. Stretch your hands away from your hips, reach your hips back towards your heels, find length in your spine. And inhale, press into your hands and knees, come up to tabletop. And either from a tabletop where you can tuck your toes, lift your hips for downward dog. You'll slide your right knee behind your right wrist, right ankle behind your left wrist, coming into a pigeon pose. And here, if you happen to have a blanket or a pillow that you can put underneath that hip, it'll help. If your hip's raised up off of the mat, that'll help your hip rest down onto something so that you're not engaging that muscle. So you can stay lifted with your fingertips, your palms down, or you can slowly start to walk your elbows down, resting on your elbows. You can walk all the way down, extending your arms out, resting your forehead. And again, here, if you want to take some movement, swiveling your hips side to side, you can walk your arms over to the right or to the left, feeling how that perhaps changes the stretch. And really working to keep your hips squared. You'll draw your right hip back, your left hip forward. And noticing as you hold these shapes for a minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes, noticing what happens with your thoughts. You may find that your mind is racing. You may find that it's really easy to focus on your breath. Whatever it is, just notice. And if you've walked your hands over to one side or the other, slowly come back to center, stretch long, and then walk over to the other side. And continue to breathe deeply where you feel that stretching sensation. Using inhale to create space. Using exhale to release tension. Inhale, slowly start to press into the floor to lift your upper body. And slowly bring your right knee back to meet your left in a tabletop. If it feels good here, you can take a downward dog, pedal out your feet left and right. You can lift one leg and then the other. Whatever feels good here in your body, your hips, your legs, your spine. And whenever you feel ready, you'll slide your left knee behind left wrist, left ankle behind right wrist. Come to pigeon on the other side. You can also take this from your back, lying down flat. You'll cross left ankle over right knee and stay there. You can draw your knee into your chest. So you can stay lifted or come down to your elbows. You can come all the way down to your forehead. And just notice here for a couple breaths, maybe how this side feels different from the other side. It's normal to have a tighter side or a more open side or a side that you can breathe a little easier on. Whatever it is, it's perfectly normal. And if you feel like moving around a bit before coming to stillness, you can swivel your hips left and right. You can walk your hands over to the right or left. You can shake your forehead out. Continue to square your hips, drawing your left hip back, right hip forward. scissor your knees in towards one another energetically. Remember to continue to breathe deeply. And as you hold these poses, continue to notice the muscles in your face. Noticing your jaw, if there's any tension or tightness there. Find some space between your top and bottom teeth. And let your tongue fall from the roof of your mouth. You can let the skin around your eyes be soft and relaxed. And your eyelids can be heavy or closed if that feels comfortable. Slowly start to walk your hands back to center. Stretch long from fingertips to your hips. Find length and space in your spine. And gently press into your hands, come up. You'll bring your left knee back to meet your right, either in a tabletop or you can tuck your toes, lift your hips for downward dog, pedal out your feet left and right. You can lift one leg and then the other. Notice the evenness on the two sides of your body. You'll slowly drop down to your knees for a tabletop. Swing your feet off to one side, kind of sit down on your hips. And slowly make your way onto your back. You can keep your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And on an inhale, slowly draw your feet up towards the ceiling, grabbing the outside edges of your feet, coming into a happy baby. You'll gently draw your knees down towards your armpits, and as you pull gently on your feet, press your feet into your hands. This will help to flatten your sacrum down, creating space in your hips and your lower back. You can rock a little side to side. You can bend and straighten your legs. Anything that feels good here. Remembering to release your jaw, finding space between top and bottom teeth. You can peace finger in between your big and second toe. You can straighten both of your legs, feeling the stretch on the back of your legs, feeling an opening in your hips. Continuing to breathe deeply where you feel that sensation of stretch. And slowly bend your knees, come back to a happy baby. Let go of your feet, draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a big squeeze. And find some gratitude here. Gratitude for yourself, for your practice. Gratitude for your beautiful body, all the amazing things that it can do. Gently release your knees. Come into your final resting pose, final Shavasana. Your palms can be face up or face down, and your feet can be close together or as wide as your mat. Really allow yourself to relax completely here. You have nothing to do but release your weight, breathe naturally. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a happy holiday. Namaste.
Namaste.